From Variety, celebrating more than 120 years covering the business of entertainment, this is the Award Circuit Podcast. Julianne Nicholson is known for her dramatic roles, like her Emmy-nominated turn in Hulu's Paradise. But as Dance Mom on HBO Max's Hacks, she showed off her comedic chops.
It's so fun to go to work and be silly, to get, as you say, to get to be in my body, to do physical comedy. That's not often asked of me either. And the dream now in what I do is always the dream is to do something different, to do something I haven't done before.
I'm Michael Schneider, and on this episode of the Variety Award Circuit Podcast, we talk to Paradise and Hack star Julianne Nicholson about her 2 Emmy nominations. But first, on the Roundtable, we recap last weekend's San Diego Comic-Con and also get into the importance, or not, of selecting the right episode to showcase as an Emmy nominee. It's all next on this edition of the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. Stay close. Previously on the Award Circuit Podcast. Hey guys, I'm Emily, but I'm feeling not so great, but can't wait to see you all down at Comic-Con. See you soon.
Gosh, remember that?
Exactly how it went.
To an hour later, tested positive for COVID, had to go back home and miss all of Comic-Con. My first time ever getting COVID, but I've survived.
Should have jinxed it.
Yeah, literally on this podcast. Mm-hmm. Everyone who listened to this podcast last week thought that you were at the Comic-Con.
I mean, listen, I want to try that out too. I've never won the lotto before. Oh, no.
Yeah, why doesn't it never works like that?
It never works the other way. I've never dated a millionaire.
Yeah. I've never did muscles without working out for no reason. My God.
Well, hi, everyone. It's the Award Circuit Podcast. I'm Michael Schneider. There's Emily Longaretta, and over there is Clayton Davis. And Emily, how are you doing first off?
I'm doing better. I was down for the count for a few days, but luckily I'm okay. I'm testing negative, so a huge plus there. I was definitely exhausted. Again, first time having COVID, so it hit me hard, but I'm back, guys. I'm just tired. I'm more tired even than usual.
This is like the opposite of being a COVID hipster. You're like one of the last folks.
Yeah, right? Oh, 2020.
Yes.
I know. Some of my friends are like, who gets COVID in 2025? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Apparently me.
You're bringing it back. It's the reboot.
Yeah, it's so Rebella.
And like most reboots, it's not great.
No, not at all. Except there are some good reboots coming, including both King of the Hill and Phineas and Ferb. How about that? Tying it back to Comic-Con. That was my weekend.
Nice, Mike. Nice, Mike. Did you have fun at Comic-Con? Because you killed it there.
I had a blast. Honestly, every year I kind of dread Comic-Con. Every year I'm like, this is the year. I just don't need to. But I couldn't pass up moderating 2 of my favorite shows and getting back down there and doing that, and brought my sons along and, took them to the panels. We also went to the Simpsons panel and a bunch of the activations. I was there at the South Park panel, so we can get into that in a second. But and then there was a South Park activation party after. It was just fun. It was, a lot of folks weren't there. Netflix wasn't there, strangely enough. We've talked a lot about how Marvel wasn't there. So it was strange who decided to sit this one out, but you still had quite a big presence from Disney, and NBC Universal had some things there. AMC had a fun activation for Shudder. So there was a lot going on, but it was different. Hall H on Sunday, which normally is the big day for a lot of Marvel panels, etc. They just had one panel that day. That was the whole George Lucas finally comes to Comic-Con panel. Yeah. So it felt
promote a museum, by the way.
Yeah. So that sounded. I was not there for that. That sounded scintillating? ? but the crowds were there in force. A lot of cosplay, the floor of the convention hall was jam packed. So overall, pretty good Comic-Con, and enjoyed my panels. And then, of course, it was fun being at the South Park panel, like I mentioned, the day after that episode ran. And
that heartwarming, family-friendly episode. So family-friendly. It's great.
I mean, it's the show we needed and the episode we needed at this moment.
Yeah.
So
I'm also one of those that has continued to watch South Park for you're still with The Simpsons. I've been with South Park the whole time. Like they really, sometimes they're hit or miss, but like this was direct hit to the moment. Yeah. Incredible. Well done. And though he said, "I'm sorry."
Well, yes, tongue firmly planted in cheek.
Not seriously, though.
But, the thing that they talked a lot about was we forget how close to air date they actually produce these episodes. I mean, every week they literally have a blank sheet of paper, a blank whiteboard, and throughout the week they're just coming up with the episode, animating it, and then putting it out there, which is why they're so topical. But also, that sounds panic-inducing.
I'm like, that gives me so much stress. I don't know how they do that, but it's also really impressive. I mean, it's similar to like SNL, but then they have the animation issue on top of that. So it's like how they do that so fast is just so impressive.
Yeah, and sometimes maybe it doesn't work out. For example, this week they don't have a new episode because they couldn't get probably their act together in time. But they've earned it, and now they have $1.5 billion to invest into more seasons and 50 more episodes.
I've never been given a $1.5 million deal. Oh, man. What if it just happened by accident right now? What's up, man? Jeez.
I know. That never works. No. We jinx everything else. We could talk about a celebrity and then they're going to die next week, but we won't get that $1 million.
But by the way, and we're burying the lead here, also came 24 hours before Skydance and Paramount announced that they are now together in a relationship.
They're in a relationship. It's no longer complicated. It's now an official relationship.
Yeah. Following up again on what we were talking about last week, I guess, when you pay off the president and then fire one of his chief critics, then hey, you can get a deal passed.
What's crazy also is that they announced that while Paramount was presenting new shows at Comic-Con. So I did feel for the teams that were there who were learning about this, just as we were, as they're presenting, the new NCIS spinoff. So it was like, we're going to drop this new trailer. Also,
then,
our company
honestly, the fact that the deal was done for Paramount, and then the next day, that South Park episode, that South Park episode came out, was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens next. Not all good things, I'm predicting.
I was going to say, we should also speak, obviously there's talk there's going to be more layoffs at Paramount. Today, time of recording that we're speaking, there were just layoffs today at Warner Brothers in the film division. The industry, I mean, the world, but like we're in Hollywood, so we're talking about this. The machine is hurting right now. Yeah. And I don't know where every time I hear of layoffs, I'm like, where? Like, where are you cutting?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what departments still have room to cut?
There's we talked to there are people that we know departments that we need for our jobs that have 2 people in them. And we know there are hundreds of publications. So how do you do it? And it's tough.
Yeah.
No, when you're cut to that bone, and then, we were talking about, okay, who takes over the Paramount cable networks? Not that there really are cable networks anymore, but with Chris McCarthy leaving, who's left at Paramount underneath him? And there are no obvious candidates because everyone is left or everyone's gone. So, it's tough. It's tough. But hey, at least we have a new name for Warner Brothers. It's Warner Brothers.
I've never seen a merger that unmerged so fast.
It's so weird.
It's so strange.
That shockingly, I feel like it happens more often these days, where these mergers, they only last for a good year or two. Like, don't forget AT&T. How long did they own Warner Brothers? It was not long before this merger, so that didn't last for long. And then AT&T owned DirecTV for like a hot second, and then spun that
I
off.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a strange time, guys. It is a strange time in this industry.
Yeah. So
And AOL owned
Time Warner.
Time Warner.
Yeah, but that was pretty much that didn't last all that long either. So
Really, shouldn't do mergers.
and the Paramount and CBS merged, and then they unmerged. Remember, and then they remerged, and now they'll probably unmerge again.
Wait, when did that happen? 'Cause actually, I might have been like out of the machine. So I don't. Wait, there was a merge, unmerge, and then merge again.
Yeah. So CBS and Paramount merged in, I want to say, the early 2000s, and then separated, and then operated as completely different companies. And then a couple of years ago, they were put back together again. So, and now who knows? They'll probably unmerge.
People split up all the time and get back together. It happens every day.
Exactly. Listen, I've watched enough and Just Like That to understand
I've
that.
seen multiple seasons of The Challenge. There are always some people that will find their way back.
Exactly.
Oh.
All right. So we are.
Wait, side note, Emily, are you watching The Challenge yet? Did it start yet?
Of course, I'm watching. Of course,
Is it great?
It kicks off this week, season 41. It is so much fun, per usual.
Great. Okay. That was just for my own FYI.
Season 41. All right. No, we were just going to talk about Carrie and Aiden, and it was due. It was overdue. So let's keep those two apart now.
It's time.
So let's separate that merger. So yeah, we are kind of in this interesting fallow period where things are starting to pick up with campaigning in the next couple of weeks. But for now, we're still kind of plotting everything. Emily's busy putting together the next Emmy issues right now. So, most of the talent is busy working on other things, which I guess is a good thing, but it's been a little tough to grab a hold of people to campaign in phase 2.
I was going to say, I feel like it's so interesting because I think, and from what I understand, it's kind of, this was similar in phase 1. I realized that it's the after effects of the strikes and even COVID. Obviously, it's been years, but because everything was so delayed, some of these huge projects were so pushed, film and TV, that so many people who are usually in town and they were planning on being in town to promote stuff and being available to promote stuff are filming things that should have been wrapped over a year ago that were pushed. So they're not available. So it's a very interesting time to see. As I'm trying to book people, there's a lot of people not available. And of course, we also have an addition to the phase 2 rollout with this Televerse situation that the TV Academy is rolling out, which is also a new way they're going to be promoting during phase 2. So it is a different time. It's a little more difficult, a little more sticky than usual.
And to add to that, then we also have entered Emmy submission stuff, and we have talked about this, I think, every year. Do episode submissions really matter anymore? And there's a debate back and forth about it. Someone that was available, as shown in our cover today, Mr. Harrison Ford, for Shrinking.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced now, if we go by episode submissions, he's about to win an Emmy. And he's going to win an Emmy because, and I love him, Ike Barinholtz picked the wrong episode. He didn't submit the Golden Globes where they talk about Sal Saperstein. I don't know.
Why did he not submit the Golden Globes episode?
Because he chose The War, which is when him and the assistant go at it, which sometimes there's two mindsets. You either go with the one that you're most prominent in, versus a cultural phenomenon. So he chose the one that he is in the most and has the most screen time. Damn, what a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Sal Saperstein would have been perfect.
No, that's an interesting debate because, yeah, I can see that then, from a cerebral perspective, yeah, you want to choose the one that you see the most of your character. But Golden Globes were screaming Sal Saperstein over and over again throughout that episode. That's a tough one.
Yeah. But then Catherine O'Hara chose the perfect episode. She chose the pilot, which is
so good.
She's on full display.
Yeah.
So that became Seth Rogen was another example of this. He chose the episode that it's called The Pediatric Oncologist. It's the episode with Rebecca Hall that he goes on the date.
Right.
Just him the whole time. Like he chose like the actual acting episode for himself. So I'm really excited by some of the choices and mindsets. Like Abbott, when you do it for a series, you choose 6. And they seem like they purposefully didn't choose things that were nominated in other categories. They made sure the whole season is represented kind of all around.
Which is smart, probably. More eyes.
Yeah.
But and this is, I think, the age-old question, does this matter? Because are people voting based on just that episode? I hate to say that, but they're not.
Yeah, I mean,
in a way, why would they? They've watched the entire season, so they're thinking of the entire season.
Yeah, I think it's a 70-30 kind of thing, and maybe 30 the episode submission matters, and then 70 is just like if you like the person and the whole thing and the narrative is there, you just go with that. So it's so hard to tell because I think I said this before. Robin Wright was like the most blatant misstep of an episode submission that I feel like cost her during House of Cards. It was that whole sit on the stairs and cry choice. And then there's sometimes I feel like it just kind of doesn't matter at all. I don't know what Liza submitted last year, but Napkins is her submission this year, and that's what won her the Emmy last year. So, I don't know. If she wins again, then I'm going to be like, oh, episode submission matters. And if she doesn't, then it really doesn't matter because they're not voting based on that season.
Well, The Bear, they weren't voting based on that season. We all know that.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like back in the Blue Ribbon panel days where you actually went to a ballroom and watched episodes that were chosen, that made more sense. That's where you're sitting down, you actually are looking at specific episodes and you're comparing them and then you're making your vote. But now, are people supposed to go back and just watch those episodes and then mark their ballot? Is that what the idea is?
Yeah, it's supposed to watch the episode and then vote. But again, it's like, okay, did you watch? Are you voting based on that episode? Because I wonder if that is true for some people because, especially if you don't watch a whole series, some people may not have watched Matlock yet, right? So they'll watch the Kathy Bates submitted episode, which she didn't submit the pilot, which was interesting. That's typically a go-to for a lot of people. So they may watch that particular episode and just based on that, go for it. But then there's people like Noah Wyle, who I love very much, and we all think he probably could win. I think he chose the wrong episode as well. He chose 9 p.m., which is the penultimate of the season, and not 7 p.m. when he cries on the floor in the room.
Wow, that surprises me. 9 p.m., that's the end of the mass casualty, right?
It's the end of the casualty. Because it's by the way, it's the one that him, Catherine Lanasa, and Sean all submitted.
Well, Sean, it
makes sense, but they all submitted the same episode.
But that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to dive into this. I feel like a lot of people would like to read a story on this.
Okay, I'll do it. The best choices and the choices that made me scratch my head.
It's possible I'm planning you a story.
And
for you.
And I think, Clayton, you actually just gave the good argument that I hadn't really thought about, which is, yeah, of course, people don't watch every show. So maybe they're not familiar with these characters and you're giving them one show to watch that you feel like, okay, if they're only going to watch one, this is the one that they need to set up. And so maybe that's even the case with Ike Barinholtz. Maybe if you're not familiar with the show and you just watch that Golden Globe episodes, maybe you find it annoying. Maybe you don't get a good sense of who that character is. And it is better for him to show off his acting chops in another episode.
I'm also curious if this impacts how at Televerse, some shows are just doing screenings. They're not doing panels because, again, talent's not around. And so I wonder if that impacts which episode they're screening.
Oh, that actually is a good point. I didn't think about it that way. But then
Because
there's also like, I think you kill two birds with one stone in a lot of ways, because like White Lotus is a great example of this, and there's like a gajillion actors. I think most of them, if I'm looking at it right now, most of them submitted the finale, which I think is always a rougher mistake. Like to have everyone do it, because like it's Natasha, Amy Lou, and Carrie Coon all did the finale, which by the way is such a Carrie Coon episode because it's her
100%
monologue.
that monologue, yeah.
Yeah. Parker Posey did the Sam Rockwell monologue episode. I think that's the one where she says, like, I'm not built for, what's the quote?
Yes,
Like,
of course. That's what I say anytime I want to fly first class.
Yeah. And then Walton and Jason submitted the finale. And I don't think that's a great Jason episode. Like that was a strange choice, I thought, for him.
Yeah.
And then Sam Rockwell obviously did his big monologue episode.
Right.
Which could be like sneaky little winner, like in there that I think we're not.
Which one did Walton do, you said?
Walton did the finale.
See, I think he also could have done the monologue one that Sam did, because his listening acting was spot on.
Yes, for sure. My God, like that's why I think there's like a weird sign. And like in Severance, Tremel Tillman and Zach Cherry submitted the same episode, which is the penultimate one. It's when Tremel says to devour feculence. That whole monologue. But that was also the episode that Zach Cherry's character, where Merritt Weaver tells him that she's having the affair with the Annie. So they both have good episodes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave it on this. Kudos to the TV Academy for recognizing Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen with their Bob Hope Humanitarian Award. It's a way to get Ted Danson to the Emmys this year, because dude was robbed. Should have been in the A Man on the Inside. Should have gotten more love. Just saying it now. But I'm looking forward to season 2 of that show, including the two of them together. So
that's going to be really fun.
And they are coming full circle. Couples goals. We never want to see them split. And I hope I didn't just jinx that on this episode.
Oh my gosh!
Listen, we could balance it out with this. Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson are a couple, and that's a good world to live in. I think that's fun.
Correct.
It's a bizarre world, but I'm here for it.
Go for it. I'm all about companionship. Go for it.
All right. Well, on this week's episode, we got the Dance Mom. We got Julianne Nicholson. Sinatra. Yeah. So looking forward to that. And in the meantime, we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye. After the break, Paradise and Hack star Julianne Nicholson. From Los Angeles, this is the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. And we're back. It's the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. I'm Michael Schneider. With 2 Emmy nominations for her haunting turn in Hulu's political thriller Paradise and her scene-stealing comedic performance in HBO Max's Hacks, Julianne Nicholson has evolved from industry to award season favorite. Nicholson earned a Supporting Drama Actress nomination for Paradise, the post-apocalyptic, time-shifting thriller from This Is Us creator Dan Fogelman. She plays Sinatra, a woman shrouded in secrets and survival instincts. But perhaps the biggest surprise of Nicholson's recent career has been her scene-stealing turn as Mary Alice, a.k.a. Dance Mom, in Hacks. The role has earned praise and viral moments, including a now-famous cocaine scene. That has earned her an Emmy nomination for Comedy Guest Actress. Variety's Clayton Davis recently spoke to Nicholson about these projects, and he began by recounting her amazing double Emmy nomination haul.
2 Emmy noms in 1 year. Why are you so greedy?
I know. What a little greedy guts.
You're like, I'll take a couple extra while I'm at it.
Yes. Well, it took me 30 years to get here, so I thought...
Might as well enjoy it now.
Yeah, start stacking them up.
This is always like the easy, but like, I know you're a very humble woman, but did you expect it on that morning? Like, did you think you would see your name twice, let alone once?
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought that because Dance Mom just happened, like we just filmed it, it just came out, and I happen to be in LA, so I'm around the general public, which I'm not in my home life because I live in the countryside and I barely see anybody. the reaction I've been getting made me think that people were enjoying Dance Mom. And Hacks is such a huge hit and the best comedy, so I knew there was eyes on it in that way. And so I thought I had a chance, I had a shot for Dance Mom, but I had no expectation at all for Paradise because it came out earlier in the year, and there have been such a slew of phenomenal supporting actresses. I mean, every year, but I feel like especially this season, it was just sort of one after another another. So I was not expecting that. No.
You know, it's interesting. I do like my first like blind predictions like before any of the noise starts, and I just lesson for myself. Listen to yourself, Clayton. I got the exact 4 noms that Paradise ended up getting in that first blind prediction.
Wow.
Was with you, James, Sterling, and Ceres. And then the season actually happens. And as we know, it's usually there's so much TV, a lot of content. People are just trying to make noise. And I knew people really liked the show, but I often say we're playing the game of how many people watch my TV show.
Yeah.
And knew it was well watched on Hulu, but you have to get the right people to watch it, which are Emmy voters. And it was the most pleasant surprise of that morning. I felt good about Sterling.
Me too.
And I felt like you were within range. Marsden, interestingly, I felt worse about going into it because I was like, listen, jury duty told me that people like him.
Yes.
But I wasn't sure it was going to happen. And then all of you came in for the ride.
Yeah, I know. It was such a happy morning. Actually, I was filming over on Paramount today, and Paramount, the lot, have put up a big sign congratulating Paradise the show and their pride and the shows that film on that lot, which is very special. And to have the 3 of us be nominated and the show was a dream. So happy making.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
To get into some I always want people to get to know you and know how great you are outside of acting. When you're not reading scripts or on set, what's something that you love to binge watch or revisit, over and over? Binge
watch. My daughter and I became obsessed a few years ago, so late to the party, but then have watched every single episode of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Obsessed. Every single episode of the regular Drag Race, every single episode of All Stars US. That has been a real fun show to watch. And now actually we've gone back to Project Runway. So I'm afraid they're the reality, particular reality competition shows.
I watch reality TV, that's my comfort. It's my comfort food. It's funny, during the pandemic, I put my daughter on American Idol. So she could, she had never seen it.
I thought you meant she was a contestant.
Oh no!
What did she do?
No, she was 10 or 5 or 9 at that time. But she it was coming back in the season, and it was the at-home version, which obviously because it was pandemic. Right. And I was like, this is not proper Idol. I don't want her to watch this way. So then we went back and watch it, and it was so strange to watch it again. Obviously, I know who wins and all that stuff. But her witnessing Tamara Gray get voted off and Chris Daughtry get voted off was very interesting because she had no idea what was going to happen. She's like, wait, why? Why did this happen? I'm like, there were phones that people needed to use to call in. Right. So it's interesting.
It was actually a fan voting.
Especially when there's something that's been on RuPaul has been on forever to rewatch it for the first time now must be just killer.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, we started sort of at season 13 and then we went back to 1 and started all over again.
There was also the Vanderpump Rules of when we all heard about Scandival and then we went back and got a good foundation. Got a good foundation. Okay, do you remember the first movie or performance that did it for you? That moment where you said, "I want to do that. I want to act."
I think it was 2 movies come to mind. One is, of course, Wizard of Oz, like Dorothy. Always. And then also Jessica Lange and Tootsie. Tootsie had a huge impact on me. I still love that movie to this day. It's a beautiful movie, so heartfelt, and smart and deeply funny. But I think it was something about the time of, I think that, I can't remember, it came out in 80 something, early to mid 80s, I would guess. And I grew up outside of Boston, but the New York felt just so glamorous and exciting in those movies, like all the yellow cabs and the energy on the street. And she was an actress, and her name was Julie Nichols, and everybody called me Julie then. So I was Julie Nicholson. So I just felt like there was some sort of sign.
You're like, Jessica Lange's calling me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's calling me to.
And she won an Oscar for that movie as her first Oscar.
Did she really? I didn't remember that.
She was double nominated that year, so she's one of the 10 people that have been double nominated for an Oscar, and that was her first Oscar win. She won a second 12 years later for Blue Sky.
Oh yeah. Well, she's beautiful in that. Yeah. I mean, in everything she does, but in particularly that movie, those were two that.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah. Because of Dance Mom, I'm curious about. What's your go-to music when you're driving to set, unwinding after a long shoot, or just cooking dinner at home?
I have. My kids make fun of me because I'll start a new playlist every once in a while, but then that playlist, like I only stopped adding to my 2022 playlist like this year. So now I've started a 2025 playlist.
Yeah.
But I like I have a house mix. So I go full on like old school house music from like the 90s, or I also like sort of chill dance vibes, not quite Ibiza, but like I love an artist named Tom Misch. I love who else? My kids are listening to Loyal Carner right now.
Oh, are they?
Do you know?
No.
He's that UK rapper. He's very cool. But I kind of go down. I like sort of chill, but like still kind of dancey. Did you have a good
go-to karaoke song when you were?
I've done karaoke twice, and it was terrible.
Really?
It was petrifying to me.
Julie can do anything, though.
No, when I heard my own voice, it shocked me to my core, and I had to stop. I tried to leave. They made me go back.
Oh,
yeah.
You can do it. Now, we're going to get you back
You're
there
generous.
soon. Let's say it's a Sunday night and you're not working. Are you a movie at home person, a live theater goer, a reader, something else entirely?
I'm all of those things.
All the above?
Yeah, it's kind of depends on the day. I live outside of London now, and there's so much great theater. So we go usually once a month into the city to see a play. But I've recently started reading books again. I love summer reading. I mean, I always read, but there are times in my life where it feels like more of a go-to than other times. And but it's what's nicer than cuddling up on your couch and watching a movie with your family.
Are you an audiobook kind of gal?
I'm not.
No, so you're like I have to hold.
I like the paper.
Yeah.
I like the reading.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the audiobooks, I don't know, it informs how you experience the words actually by how the artist's reading interprets it.
Yeah, my wife she'll do both. She's way better of a reader than I am because I should read a lot, but I don't as much unless it's like news and stuff.
Right. But
she does memoirs on audio. She'll really do that.
That idea of over the pandemic, my husband started reading aloud to the kids and I, like classic books, and that was pretty amazing because he's a super talented actor, but especially he would inhabit each of the characters. So he's using
his theater voice.
Yeah, and it was like gripping, and we would all sort of gather around and we read Pride and Prejudice and David Copperfield and books I may not have gravitated towards at this time in my life, but it sort of opened up like, oh yeah, classics. Yeah. I understand.
Speaking of Pride and Prejudice, I think they released the first images today of the new series that's coming on Netflix. Again, another reboot. It's also just one of those it's a reboot, like it's part of the greater Jane Austen universe.
Right.
But it's interesting that we watch a lot of these stories that's been done time and time again, and then they end up belonging to a generation. I remember when Greta Gerwig did Little Women.
Yes.
And I was like, my Little Women's Winona Ryder. Like that's mine. That's my little.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
Me too. Claire Danes.
That's my Beth.
Me too.
That's my Beth. And it can be a hurdle, but then I watched, I was like, oh no, this can belong to someone else.
I agree.
But I do get very, and Star is Born belongs to every generation now for that reason. Right. If you could step into any film or TV role from the past, male or female, just for fun, what character would you want to play for a day?
Gosh, interesting. These kind of questions stump me. I literally go blank. I'm like,
and if you don't have one, that's fine. I mean, like I think of this also for the person I'm asking. I would want to see Julianne Nicholson's version of in Streetcar, not Blanche. The guy now escaped me. The Stella. Yes, I said Sandy Dennis. I kept wanting to say that as your Stella. I wonder what that would have looked like.
Oh, I love that.
Because Goldstein's like, oh, play Blanche, but like like everyone's done Blanche, but I want to see your Stella.
Oh,
I think
nice.
that'd be good.
I should actually read. I should read more plays. I don't read plays as much as I should because I think that would be fun to sort of. I haven't done a ton of theater. When I've done it, I've loved it, but and I would love to again. But
is that true? I always feel like the bones of a great actor are built on the stage. You have always come off to me as someone that I feel like probably did 1,000 plays.
No, not at all.
Really?
I didn't start. I started in New York in the 90s with like independent film when you could get like a scene or two in a proper independent film and then like, an episode of New York Undercover or
NYPD Blue or something. Yeah,
exactly. And then I came to theater kind of late.
Oh my God. There's a lot of plays. I've read way more plays than I probably have read novels. And there's so many plays. I'm like, why have we not made this yet? Like into a movie, a proper movie or a limited series. And my favorite play is Harold Pinter's Betrayal, which was made in a movie in the 80s with Ben Kingsley. But I'm like, it's made for right now. Like, let's get it going.
I'm going to read it.
It's great.
You're producing.
It's my favorite. Listen, take me in the Oscar speech. Okay. That's all I asked for. Who's a director, actor, or musician you love to collaborate with? Someone totally unexpected or outside your usual genre?
Taika Waititi. I think he's incredible. I think his range of what he can do. I actually just happened to be talking about him today with somebody, or yesterday rather. But I think I don't know that if I would be an immediate choice for him, but I think he's incredibly talented and I love his energy and the energy that he puts into his films. I loved What We Do in the Shadows. I loved Jojo Rabbit. I loved Our Flag Means Death, where he plays Blackbeard. They're all like just brilliant. And I feel like they all have his stamp on them. I have so many people I'd love to work with. I also love Jonathan Glazer. But in my mind, maybe that's a more obvious fit, but I don't think he knows that, but I love him.
Listen, we are manifesting here. So Jonathan Glazer.
Yeah, please, Jonathan Glazer.
Like let's not wait 12 years for another movie.
Yeah.
And Julianne Nicholson is available right now.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love Jonathan Glazer so much. I love Zone of Interest, obviously, but like Birth did things to me that like I can just remember watching that movie. And
that opening scene when he's running in the snow, Under the Skin. Under the Skin.
It made me so deeply uncomfortable.
The first 10 minutes, I was ready to walk out of the theater because it made me so uncomfortable. Yeah. And the person who does the music is Mika. She did the music for Monos, which was that Colombian film that I did. She's brilliant. But I didn't know her when I watched Under the Skin, but it made me so uncomfortable that I wanted to leave. But then like from moments, 8 or whatever it is, then I was just so gripped and enthralled. And the way he can move an audience is really special.
Glazer rocks. He's great.
Top of the pile.
All right. Let's get to some Emmy discussions now. That was just like good warm-up stuff. So you're in a unique position of being nominated, being nominated for both a thriller drama and a satirical, I'm going to put that in air quotes, satirical comedy. How do you keep those two worlds separate? Like when did the filming of each come in your life and how did you balance that?
So it was pretty easy to keep these separate because I stopped filming Paradise in July.
Okay.
And then I spoke to Paul and Jen and Lucia in December or November maybe, and then started filming in January. So there was enough time between them that it didn't feel like there was no Sinatra residue hanging around.
Listen, again, and this is coming from someone who loves Julianne Nicholson and talks a lot about flannel pajamas and how that's like that's my discovery of you. And I was like, my God, who is this and why can't she work forever? And I can't believe I am considering dethroning that performance as my favorite of yours because of Dance Mom. Because it's the most unexpected thing I've ever seen.
Honestly, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when you were watching.
When I heard you were on the show initially, I was like, oh, that's gonna be cute. Like I was like, oh, Julie's gonna be on the show and she'll probably be like an agent or something. Like, when I go to, I was like, oh, she'll be like this badass agent. Yeah. And then like in a slippery slope, that perfect episode, I was like, I've never known you could do physical comedy. I didn't know you could do all this. And it was, I mean, were you like excited by that, by just getting that chance to be like, guys, I'm actually really funny too?
Yes. I was so excited. I'm honestly, they're like sick of probably me saying it, but like, I'm so grateful to those three, John, Lucia, and Paul, for, you know, having the imagination to see me in that role and, you know, gave me the opportunity to inhabit her. That was such a blast. It's so fun to go to work and be silly. Mm-hmm. And I just loved it. I was a huge fan of the show anyway. And, you know, to get, as you say, like to get to be in my body, to do physical comedy, like that's not often asked of me either. And the dream now in what I do is always the dream is to do something different, to do something I haven't done before. Yeah. And that's what I'm looking for when I read things. And it's what I'm hoping for. I don't always get it, or maybe I get like glimpses of it, but to do something so wildly different was so fun.
When it was over, I said, you know, there's been all this chatter about second season of Mare of Easttown. I was like, I want the buddy cop comedy with Kate Winslet and Julie just ripping into it. Like it was so like, I just couldn't believe it was happening. It was one of those, I had to watch it twice, by the way, and I rewatched it today and prep for this. I needed to bring myself back to that moment. But I remember watching it, and it's one of those that like it's happening and you're so laughing so hard. You also can't take in everything that's happening. And then it was over and I was like, I can't believe she did it. I can't. Aww. And true story. And I saw Lucia and Jen at a FYC event or something. And I gave them a hug. I was like, thank you for Julie. Like, thank you for that. And they're like, isn't she great? I was like, it's not, you can't say great because that's underplaying it. It is special. It is very, very special.
Thank you.
So good for you.
So fun.
That's Julianne Nicholson, Emmy-nominated and drama supporting actress for Hulu's Paradise, and in comedy guest actress for Hacks. And that's it for this edition of Variety's Award Circuit Podcast. Michael Schneider is the producer and Aaron Greenewald is the editor. Be sure to subscribe to the Award Circuit Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you download podcasts. Also, head on over to Variety.com and click on the Award Circuit tab to find the latest awards predictions and key races, as well as your daily fix of news, analysis, and reviews. For Jazz Tanke, Emily Longaretta, and Clayton Davis, I'm Michael Schneider, and we'll see you on the circuit.